Hey everyone. Today, we're charting a 50-year journey through the ever-evolving geopolitics of the Baltic Sea, from the early 1970s to today. Think of it as a geopolitical roller coaster, with alliances, conflicts, and surprises around every wave. So, buckle up. It's going to get tense. Let's start in the 1970s. The Baltic was a Cold War battleground. The Soviet Union controlled most of its eastern shores, with the Baltic Fleet patrolling fiercely. NATO? They kept their distance but watched closely, especially after Soviet submarines kept sneaking into NATO waters, just to keep things exciting. During this time, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, the Baltic states, were part of the USSR. Tensions were high, but nothing compared to what was coming. The sea was basically a front line in the East-West rivalry. Fast forward to 1990 to 1991, the USSR's last days. The Baltic states pushed for independence, inspired by revolutions across Eastern Europe. Massive protests, waves of patriotism, and finally in 1991, they declared independence. Suddenly, the Baltic was no longer a Soviet inland sea. It became a border of new sovereign nations eager to integrate with Europe and NATO. Now, the early 2000s saw the Baltic countries join NATO and the EU, a huge shift. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania were officially part of Western defense and cooperation. But guess what? Russia didn't exactly see them as friends. Vladimir Putin, in particular, saw NATO's expansion as a threat. Like a neighbor moving into the backyard and installing a security camera between 2010 and 2014, things heated up. Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea shocked everyone. A clear message: stay out of our backyard. NATO responded with military drills, increased presence, and warnings to Russia. Suddenly, the Baltic Sea was front and center in a new Cold War. But this time, it was hot and dangerous. Things took a darker turn in 2022. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, aiming at the Black Sea coast and threatening the Baltics. NATO and EU united, deploying troops, ships, and missiles to deter further aggression. It's a fight over influence, control, and security, with the Baltic Sea as the epicenter of East-West tension once again. So, what does the next 50 years hold? A fragile peace or more surprises? The Baltics are now a key NATO frontline, with new military bases and alliances strengthening. But Russia's still watching, and the sea remains a crossroads of power and conflict. One thing's for sure, the Baltic Sea's geopolitics will continue to shape Europe's security, and maybe, just maybe, keep the world on its toes. Thanks for riding this 50-year wave of Baltic geopolitics with me. If you enjoyed this geopolitical roller coaster, smash that like button, subscribe for more history and geopolitics, and tell me in the comments, what surprise